Hi, I'm Derek Nelson. I'm with the EH&S department with Western Forest Products. Today we're going to discuss good communication between the phases. This is really important as we're starting to find ourselves getting to steeper and steeper terrain with more confined areas. We really need to get out in front of these issues before they get to be bigger concerns later on in the process. And we're going to do this with better communication between the phases.
The roads are tight, but we're getting higher into, steeper country now, and that's the way it is. But when we can make them wider, we should.
You sort of have a standard width you want to build the road to, but you certainly don't want to go less than that in a situation where you've got a rock bluff and you know they're going to be yarding, because they're going to have problems with it right away.
We need a loader with us when we don't have an adequate landing, right?
Yeah.
Because he has to hold one end, I have to grab the other, and we have to swing it onto the road together.
Otherwise, what happens?
Well, it just runs away. So we're grabbing it again, if we're lucky, or we're going to lose it completely.
Up comes the log, hands it off to the log loader. It's expensive, slow, not very productive, and it's becoming more and more of a challenge in some of these places that we're accessing more and more of a fiber. We got to face it, the valley bottoms are gone, and we're going further and further up the hill.
When we're working in these challenging areas, it's really important to identify them up front so that we can, if we're not super confident in where the yarding will take place from these situations, we can definitely bring our experienced crew out and take a look at it, whether it be a woods foreman, a hook tender, or the grapple yarder operator, and take them out for a walk and show them the situation that you're up against and what their thoughts are and what the best situation might be for setting them up for the yarding of that particular site.
Communication in regards to steep grades passed on through the road foreman down to us, and we go out and pre-walk the road, and we usually take a truck driver safety rep or a truck driver in general.
The most ideal time to give and receive feedback on a road is when the road crew is still on site. At that time, we can solve issues such as tabletop.
Sometimes when you're coming down a hill and you'll have a flat bench before a steep pitch, you'll find there's a visibility issue when you come off the bench, and so if they could cut those down a little bit more, it would definitely make it easier for guys to see what they're getting into.
Leans in the road.
Ideally, you'd like to come into a switchback level all the way around. No insloping, no outsloping, and consistent grades. All great criteria if the land allows you or the material allows you. That should be the end goal, level and consistent.
And concerns with traction.
Generally, you've got a rock truck around or something. That's the best thing for compacting the road. You get him to run up and down it and pack it, and then have a look at it. Ask him what he thinks of it, because he'll feel it in the rock truck, eh?
When dealing with some of these steeper switchbacks and the operator is having a hard time maintaining grade, planners can come back out to the field and stake the grade for the operator to provide some guidance.
The top switchback actually is the controller for the whole thing. If you can get that one right, then all the rest will follow suit. Otherwise, if it's out, you're hooped. You're going to be too steep somewhere on one of them.
Another issue we're starting to find is that the grade hoe is starting to pioneer beyond bedrock outcrops in order to keep the drill busy. When you find yourself in this situation, it's best to bring the supervisor back to the site to check out the situation.
A lot of times when you're pioneering ahead or opening up the road, you're just moving the right away, pulling the odd stump to try and make trail. It's not the best practice on steep ground, obviously. You want to have a full bench, you want to have a firm footing, you want to make sure your outside track is somewhere where it's on solid ground. Where people get themselves in trouble on steep slopes, it's usually they have a lack of punching, poor water control, or their outside edge or their outside track isn't on stable ground.
Every worker has a responsibility to seek and receive feedback when we're working in these challenging areas.
Communication with your peers or your supervisor usually helps hone you in. If you think you're by going ahead and pioneering in there and getting ahead 400 meters and breaking the grade hoe down, and now that machine's out of commission for 2 or 3 days because they got to either pack parts in or get another machine, you're doing nobody a favor.
Today we spoke to a few individuals about a variety of planning issues. Ultimately, good communication between the phases will lead to a more efficient and safer worksite for everyone. Keep talking out there.